Heading back down the ice for Detroit. He's dumped right at center ice. Rather not dumped at center ice, but he sent the linesman Paul Flaherty into the crowd. He went over the boards.
Woo! Hello out there. We're on the air and it's hockey night tonight.
Hell yeah.
This is the Over the Boards podcast, a business subsidiary of the Jersey Tuck podcast. Welcome. I got Fred,
hello,
Habs fan, our resident Habs fan. Mitchell, our resident Avs fan. Myself, the Leafs fan.
The sad Leaf fan.
The sad Leafs fan. And Alex is somewhere here in the ether.
Hello.
Yeah. So how are we doing, guys? How you feeling? Hockey season started. Preseason's on the go.
Where the points don't matter.
The points don't matter.
No, man, it looks good. Excited. I'm ready for it to kick off. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Mitch? The Avs looking good in preseason so far? Or?
They only played their first game yesterday, and they iced like a rookie squad. It was
always.
And they still managed to keep competitive with Vegas, who put like half their squad in. So it was kind of funny, actually.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, man. And so it begins. So I think we can kind of dive right into it off the bat and start previewing our divisions for the season. Yeah. Let's see where we end up there. So I think what's the best way you guys want to go through this? You want to kind of run through it through you want to start Atlantic, like the East Coast, and move west?
Sure. Why not?
So we can kind of give our input. We'll start with the Atlantic Division. Yeah. We can start with the Atlantic Division, which I don't know if producer Alex here to save us a little bit might have our actual teams in each division, but I think that consists. Yeah.
So
name them off, or we can go one at a time.
Let's see now. We have the Atlantic Division is Boston Bruins, Buffalo Sabres, Red Wings, Panthers, Canadiens, Senators, the Lightning, and the Maple Leafs.
So
this was pretty obvious. The Sabres are going to win it, right?
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be pretty close.
The rest of the division probably shouldn't even bother playing this year.
They're going to win it on the back of Jack Eichel's halfback.
Back of his halfback, yes.
Yeah, on the back of his gangly back. But even with this one, I think it is kind of. I don't want to be like, especially after last season, that pessimistic Leafs fan. I know a lot of people are just jumping to conclusions that they're not going to be as good as they were last year. But I think it's pretty straightforward. I think who your top 4 teams are. I think there's like 4 or 5 teams, and then there's a huge drop off in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Like, that Buffalo and Detroit are probably not going to go anywhere fast.
No.
And
yeah, I think we can all agree there.
And some people might say that you're going to see, improvement from Ottawa, but I maybe minimally, I still think those 3 teams are going to be kind of.
Well, you got to look at it too, like with Senators, like Murray, he's been off the last 3 years. Like, I understand the man's won, his cups and everything, but he's done it, with a D of Letang and so on. But right now on a team that's growing, I don't know, anything could happen. We will see this year for sure.
I mean, interesting. If they got to be pesky Sens again.
Yes, 100%. And I think they will be.
Yeah.
I think they will be.
Like, you got to count on a lot of growth from their young guys still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because even like, there's not a big name scorer on this team other than Brady Tkachuk, and there's no guarantee that he even starts the season with them.
Right. No, that's right.
Exactly.
But now, if Stützle takes another step forward in his development and career, I mean, that's a big bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And they got some young D back there that can be a big help. Josh Norris and Brandstrom. So
yeah, like looking at it here, like Brandstrom's still there. You're relying on Thomas Chabot, and then after that, your next 3 guys are Zaitsev, Zub, and Delzato. So
I don't know. Delzato, he's only going to be a third pairing D man anyway. Like, he's just there for his presence.
And
Victor Mete. And you know what though? It's going to be Zub and like Chabot, like those 2 guys alone. they're going to be their backbone for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think they end up landing kind of like last season. Like they won't be at the bottom of the division. They'll be pesky. They'll win a couple of games against like the top of the division and some good teams here or there. But I think on average, they're still going to be outside of a playoff spot.
I think they're going to be Mr. Upset. They're just going to upset teams when they really need a big win or something like that.
Their role for me is like, at the end of the season, when you have a team that's trying to squeeze into a playoff spot, they're going to be that team that steals it from them.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I guess that leaves us with the last few teams.
Yeah. So I think it is a battle between those five. I think you got your Tampa for sure, which I think is going to, I think they're going to comfortably kind of, maybe not as comfortably as a few seasons ago, but they're going to be at first team.
You think
especially in a year? Yeah. Especially in a year. I know they've lost a whole line there, which was super important for them winning the cup, but that was also in a year where they never had like Kucherov or Stamkos the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. Stamkos, he's not what he used to be.
Yeah.
Power play, yes, he'll get your power play goals, but he's 5-on-5. He doesn't have it in the tank anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Kucherov's there, his points go up automatically.
100%.
Yeah. Even just off the back of a power play with Kucherov on it, man. That's scary. So I think they're going to be there, and I think Toronto is going to be in the top three for sure.
Yeah, top three, I think it's going to be Tampa, Toronto, Florida.
Interesting.
And that leaves us with Montreal and
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah, see,
now,
I think my top three is going to be Tampa, Leafs, and Boston. I still think, Florida are going to be great. They're fast, but are they going to be able to do it for a full 82 games? Like they did it in a shortened season. They made a lot of acquisitions too to get them pushed even further. Like who is it they picked up? Calgary guy. What was it? What's his name?
Bennett.
Yes, Bennett. Yeah. Which was huge at the time, but that was only 11 games he gave them, 10 or 11 games. So it's still early, but you think you can't go wrong with, I hate to say it, fucking Bruins. You can't go wrong. Like the team just scores.
I think they've regressed.
They still Marchand still put up 90 points.
Yeah, but it's just the line now.
Yeah,
they lost their reliable second center. Their defense is
that's going to hurt them
the last few years, and they don't even have Raskanet until at least January at the earliest.
Who are they rolling now?
Was pretty good though. Swayman's good.
Olmark and Swayman, but they're not proven. I mean, if they can step up to the back, but they're not full-time proven.
I think Olmark is going to be awesome for them.
Yeah, Fred, you'll attest to this. I've said this for years. Every year, I'm like, Boston's going to regress this year. They're getting old. Boston's going to regress this year. And every freaking year, they're still just there.
Yeah.
But I still think even over those years, it's bound to happen. They are trending that way. And I think this year could be that year for sure.
I'm not liking their defense this year.
No,
I agree with that. Who do you got? McAvoy and who?
Mostly
Guy.
it.
McAvoy and
Guy times 5.
God,
I can't remember.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. I just feel like they're always that team that we're they'll just have a player that's going to surprise us. That's what I think.
Yeah, they still got Taylor Hall there in that line. See what that does. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting too. Who's their second line center now?
I'm pulling this up right now. So
their second line center.
I don't think they did anything to replace Krejci.
Charlie Coyle.
Yeah, Coyle will take it, but he was always a third. He's not even a second, really.
He's not a second line center.
He's not a second line center.
But it's Charlie Coyle. He and I think he actually kind of took a step back last year.
He did. I agree with you there.
So I think the loss of Krejci does damage that team a lot and a lot more. Even we have a mutual friend there. We play ball hockey with their Fred, and he's a really diehard Bruins fan. And that was the first thing he told me when I asked him about how he felt about his team this year. And he's like, it's really gonna sting with Krejci gone. Because he's one of those under the radar, just
power play guy too.
Consistently just a good hockey player. He moves the needle for the team. And he's always been ever since he's been a part of Boston. So I think they do take a step back. And that for me, that leads to me to go with my ranking of the three. I think it's gonna be Tampa and Toronto. and that third team, it's gonna be a close battle. I think it's actually gonna be between Boston and Montreal.
Yeah.
You were
Montreal's
wondering
my
about the defensive pairings. Derek Forbort, Charlie McAvoy, Mike Riley, Brandon Carlo. There's a few of them.
Carlo and
Yeah.
Riley, they're good, but they're not throwing points up for you.
Carlos solid, big defensive boy. Mike Riley was okay. He put up some points there when they acquired him last year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He stepped up decently for him last year.
Grizzlick.
Grizzlick
Max
is
Grizzlick.
sneaky good, but he gets
Yeah.
injured a lot. He gets injured a lot.
And who'd you say was the Forbot, Alex?
Forbert.
Forbert?
Derek Forbert.
Forbort?
Okay.
Maybe?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
He's just a big body.
He's still a kid, I'm pretty sure. He was a rookie. I think his rookie year was only like the other
No.
year or two ago.
No, he was with LA.
Yes, that's right. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's what I'm thinking of.
So
Yeah.
And this is one of the first years I look at Boston's defense, and I'm honestly like, because before it was always, it was that steady back line, Zdeno Chara anchoring team, and even though like he wasn't there, I think that's the loss that hurts them the most. He wasn't there last year. You still saw them take a step back a bit last year, just in their consistency in the way they played. They lost a bit of that identity that made them the big bad Bruins. And that's the thing with them. I think they're going to step away from their identity. They're going to be in kind of a transition stage of becoming a new kind of team. And that leads me to kind of, transition over to why I think Montreal is going to challenge them a little bit, because I think Montreal is also going to go through that. In the playoffs last year, you saw what worked is they were that strong defensive steady team. They were a team built for the playoffs. I think they're going to be a better regular season team this year because they're going to have the scoring. They're going to have a lot deeper scoring. They got those players there. I know they're going to start the season there, Fred, I think with a few injuries.
Oh yeah. No Hoffman, no Weber, no
Caulfield.
Price.
You're not getting Weber all year.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Caulfield?
Caulfield is day-to-day right now. He hurt himself before the first preseason game. He tripped over somebody or he stepped on a puck and then he just left. They said it's nothing major. They said nothing. He will play, but just something. They're like, nah.
Maintenance, right?
Yeah, it's maintenance.
But this year, you see like some players are going to perform up to what they were always expected to before. And I think the name that comes to mind right off the bat for me is Jonathan Druitt. I think he's going to have a really good season.
I'm just letting you guys know because we're all in fantasy. Yeah. I am taking him this year. I think he's gonna be Montreal's like leading scorer this year.
Yeah.
I don't there's something about him. I feel like he's
the way that he came to the table after the playoffs. Like he, kind of spoke about the issues that plagued him over the last couple of years. It's almost like he's renewed a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. He kind of sought that help. He got himself level-headed and he kind of came back a lot stronger. And he even looked excellent. I know it's preseason. You don't want to judge too much based on preseason, but he looked awesome in that first game.
What did you guys think of that first line or that line of Drouin, Anderson, and Dvorak? I think it's pretty good.
I think it's balanced.
It is a pretty balanced line.
You have
they complement each other pretty well.
Drouin always needed to be that player that was, like the line driver, but not the main scorer. Like he's more of a playmaker, and now you got that power forward on his opposite wing, like Josh Anderson. All he's got to do is go to the net, man. Do what he does best and just crash the net.
And it's kind of nice too. Like I hate to say it, but like Duran makes a lot of defensive mistakes, but now you got a two-way center in Dvorak who'll be like, all right, I'm just gonna back this up, play some defense here.
And that doesn't even include like another big year expected from Suzuki. Like I mean, like we're talking like about that line like they're gonna be the first line. Then you have the Suzuki line. You still have Gallagher. You still have Hoffman. You still have Toffoli. These are all 20-30 goal scorers. So I think they're going to be a lot better. They're going to be a completely different team identity-wise. They're going to be an offensive team. They're going to let more goals in. And I don't think it's going to work as well in the playoffs as their team did last year, but I think they're going to be right there in the playoff race. A lot of people were counting them out right away, right, Fred? Like we were talking about, they're like, oh, without Weber, without this, like they're going to be, I think they're going to, like last year they had a hard time even making the playoffs. But I think this year they're more built for the regular season. They have more depth offensively.
For me personally, I like the way Montreal's defense is. Like, sure, Weber is he's going to be gone, but I feel like Ducharme always was trying to use him on the power play or just trying to utilize him wherever he can. But now that he's injured, he's like, okay, it's going to be Jeff Petrie. Like, it's just going to be Petrie now. Don't let anybody else be on the back end on a power play.
Yeah.
They don't belong there. So
Keep him there.
I'm just happy now Ducharme doesn't have to think about it. He's like, it's going to be you, and that's it. Who else are you going to do? You're not going to put Savard.
They should just roll. They should just roll five forwards and put Caulfield there in the point play.
No, they're going to do Drouin because Drouin, he did it before,
Let
right?
him quarterback it.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of, we'll touch on the last team there, Florida. And that kind of leads to that. I think that they're going to take big regression this year.
See, I like their lineup. I think they got a nice, solid, full
You think
lineup.
so?
Reinhardt, man. I think Reinhardt's a great pickup too.
Yeah.
I mean, Barakov and Huberto are fucking elite talent, in my
excellent
opinion.
players.
Ekblad picks right back up for his injury there last year. He's gonna look great. I think Spencer Knight's gonna step up to the plate from this year.
That's the key point for me is the goaltending. Because they don't get to where they're at last year without Drieger. And man, that Bob Broski contract's a boat anchor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's terrible.
But you know what? He can turn it on when he needs to sometimes. So if you're happy as an owner, coach, general manager, just to go tandem with him. It's like, okay, Bobrovsky's cold. We'll run Knight.
Yeah.
Okay, Knight's getting tired. He's, he don't have his legs or whatever. So, okay, throw Bobrovsky in for a game or two. So, just roll into whoever's hot. Just keep rolling.
You know what, Mitch? I see what you mean there now. Like I'm looking at it, and there's actually a lot of players on here that I totally forgot they even had. Or they picked up in the offseason.
Like
Sam Reinhart.
Sam Reinhart's there, Hornquist. You got some nice solid depth guys. Like Bennett's there now, so interesting to see what he picks up, where he leaves off to.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Hornquist was playing well for him last year. I think they grabbed Voracek this year, didn't they?
That was a 1-for-1, wasn't it?
No, they don't have Voracek. That's a Columbus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And then there was I think they had a kid, it was a Carter Verhaeghe.
Yeah.
Who was playing really well for
Former
him.
Toronto Maple Leaf.
And and there was someone else too. I think that was Vetrano, I think.
Yeah. Vetrano's there. I think they're
who was playing well. So they had some kids really starting to step their game up.
good old
as
Anthony
well.
Duclair.
Yeah, Duclair, man. Like he's another
playing well for him. So I mean, it depends. There is potential for guys there that can go one way or the other. That's the thing. But we'll see. I think I do like their roundness of their lineup, their forward depths. I do like their depth.
And anything can happen when you have Jumbo Joe Thornton on your team.
Oh, I forgot about Joe Thornton being there.
Wanted to go back to the sunny Florida State. Yeah.
Mine extra crispy boy.
Oh my God!
He's gonna get extra crispy.
You got
Oh my
it in.
God!
Oh my God!
So let's roll on over then to the Metropolitan Division. Alex, take it away on the teams there.
The Metropolitan Division. We got the Canes, the Blue Jackets, the Devils, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Flyers, the Penguins, and the Capitals.
Oh,
I don't know what you guys think. I look at this now, like for me, it's different. I feel like the difference between the top and bottom of the division is a bit more muddy, like a lot more muddy for the Metropolitan. Like you don't have like that, number one in the Eastern Conference team there, but you have like a lot of, middling, like, wild card level hockey teams and teams that can kind of, make improvements over last year, especially ones like the Devils or the Rangers. Like, I think both are going to be a lot better. What do you think there?
I got a question for you, guys. I'll throw it to Josh first. Okay, I've been hearing from a lot of the just around the league, the analysts, Twitterverse, just like everyone's like, oh, this is the best division in the NHL. And I look at it, I'm like, Flyers are bad. Pens are on the decline. The Caps, sure, you got your back. Like, they're a great team. They're probably still going to finish first in this division. They could.
Hell, Caps?
The Caps, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You have, Isles are always going to be steady. I think they're going to be fine. But then you got the Blue Jackets are garbage. And then the Canes, I think they actually
took a step back.
Yeah, I think they took a step back.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be terrible, though. But yeah, they definitely took a step back with some of their decisions.
So I'm thinking, like, who do you guys think are going to, who do you think is going to finish like first in this division? Who's going to be the last place in this division? And who do you think is going to be like the sneaky pick?
My first place, I think, is actually going to be the Islanders.
Yeah, I say Islanders is probably.
Me too.
They're now at the weird thing about the Islanders is like they're a playoff built team. They do
Mhm.
decent in the regular season, but they play sick playoff hockey.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
And they
yeah,
in my opinion, they have one of the best tandems too. So
Yeah,
goalie
yeah.
wise, they're always fine.
I think the Rangers are going to take a serious step forward.
Mm-hmm.
They could be up there. I think you're going to see like kind of like a changing of the guard because I do think that Washington's going to regress. I think Pittsburgh is going to have a tough year. I don't think they've gotten better, and without Malkin,
He's gone
It
for
just-
how long? 2 months.
I think
I
so.
believe it was 2 months with what was it, a back or
And-
leg injury?
Yeah, another knee injury, and
Yeah.
knowing how they are too, like he'll come back and he'll go on a heater. But I still don't. I just don't. I don't see it. Like that's 1-2 where they're aging,
Mm-hmm.
and I
who's
think
that?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, Malkin's not gonna be there to start the year, and Crosby's
No.
not gonna be there to start the year
Mhm.
either.
Oh, Crosby isn't either.
No,
Yeah,
Just
so
like
they-
the first few weeks, I think, for
few
Crosby,
weeks, but he's not starting the season healthy.
Mhm.
So they can easily start the season, below
Yeah,
500.
was
They're
it
climbing
wrist
way back up.
surgery he had?
I'm not even sure.
He had like small procedure done. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was,
Mhm.
and it was late too. I was wondering, like, why did he get that?
Yeah, I don't know what that was either.
done?
Yeah, so that's rough. I think the Devils. So the Canes' loss is the Devils' gain for sure here
For
because
sure. Dougie.
because Dougie Hamilton, like, say what you want about him, how he plays, like he's a Norris candidate defenseman, and anytime you lose that level of defenseman, you take him away from the team. That's like Mitch. That's just like being like I like the Avalanche are really good, but just all of a sudden picking up Cale Makar and taking him off the team.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
For
absolutely.
sure. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
Like it's going to damage your team a lot. And I think like the Canes definitely missed the boat there, missed the bus by letting him go. I think that was
Mhm.
stupid
But they got Kakaniemi for $6
Yeah.
mil.
for the price of Kotkaniemi. Like that's terrible. That's a terrible trade off.
He had 2 points in the first period.
Yeah, oh,
I bet you he still gets less than 10 goals this
yeah.
season.
Yeah.
I think he took a nice few penalties in that game too, if I remember here.
Classic.
Blowing people up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird division. I think Islanders are definitely the most well-rounded, solid team, the one you
Mhm.
have the most faith in but I think it can go either way. Like
They're gonna get back a healthy Anders Lee too.
yeah, exactly, which is
That's
huge.
true.
I don't know. Okay, so like Rangers, yes, take a step forward. I mean, they got guys getting older, maturing, and they made some moves. They didn't make a whole lot of moves, but I think they're a better team. It'll be interesting to see if Shesterkin kind of keeps developing in the right
Yeah.
way or not. I'm still
He's-
not
look-
100% sold on Shesterkin, to be honest with you, but I think he is trending in the right direction.
I think so. Like I'm pulling up their roster there now too,
Yeah.
because I'm really curious. Like, even just
Sure.
Adam Fox. If Adam Fox can even take another step forward, like
Yeah,
he's still
well,
a young
He doesn't even
defenseman.
have to take a step forward. If he can maintain what he did,
Yeah,
he's
he was
fine.
a
If he pulled off a Norris year, if he
Yeah.
just maintains, you're laughing.
like
So,
at the top of your lineup, and they did overpay to get Barkley Goodrow, but at the top of their lineup, you still got Panarin, Kreider, Zibanejad, and those rookies that are bound to take a step forward, like Lafreniere and Kako.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think
Yeah.
they're gonna be a better team.
man, I want Lafreniere to really start jumping up, man, but he just still doesn't show me anything.
It's weird, eh?
I was
For
watching their
someone
game.
who's-
I was watching their game the other night, and their first game they got blanked.
Yeah.
I don't know if the second game I can't remember I think he was playing or not, but it's not showing anything. But Kako, I like Kako. Kako looked good in that game I was watching there against the Bruins. I think it was the other night.
Actually, yeah. The one trade that I think damaged this team too. Who is it they traded? Away. They traded someone to the Blues.
I can't remember. I know they
It was
acquired Reeves, right?
Yeah.
For
But the Washington Tom Wilson broke this team a little bit. Like they probably took a step back because of Tom Wilson. Because they're like, we have to get tougher.
yeah, they don't want to be pushed around, that's for sure.
Yeah. But no, they lost a really good player to St. Louis for nothing.
Buchnevich.
Yeah. Really good player, like top 6 forward.
Yeah,
Gave him away for nothing. So
yeah.
might eat my words a little bit on saying they're going to improve, but
No, I think they do improve. I think that they are relatively young teams, and I mean with lots of talent, like Panarin. I think Panarin's going to be honestly Panarin's going to be one of the top players in the league this year if he stays healthy.
100%.
So I think they're fine there. Jersey's going to be interesting. So I didn't realize, but Mackenzie Blackwood is not vaccinated.
Oh shit.
That's right. I heard that today.
So I don't know.
He's
if
admitted
that
to
comes
it
into
too.
play.
Yeah.
Now it's for like personal, like for health concerns reasons. I don't think it's mainly just because there's an anti-vaccine kind of thing, but
I think they're okay because they did luckily go out and get, wait for it, Jonathan Bernier.
Wow, man.
he's a decent backup. I'll give him that. He's a decent backup.
Is he going to play 60 games for you though?
No. Well, if you're relying on play 60 games for you, you're screwed.
I feel like he did last year, didn't he? For
Detroit. Yeah, but Jesus Christ.
Last year.
But yeah, no, it'd be interesting. I don't know. I think Jersey will be a decent team. I think Jack Hughes steps up a bit more this year. I think Nico Hischier will finally be healthy. I think he'll look decent for him this year.
I totally forgot they gave him the C.
Yeah, it's weird, but I mean, I think that shows that he's showing them things that we don't necessarily get to see him a lot. And I think he was hurt a lot last year. He's been dealing with some injuries, so I think this year we might see some stuff from him.
Oh yeah.
Let's not forget too. You never know with PK. PK might actually, take a rebound this year.
I'd like to see him take a step back forward. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is his last year there with his contract.
But
with Dougie and Damon Severson, two really good defensemen. And everyone's favorite player named after a potato food, Thomas Tatar.
The tuna.
The tuna. I forgot that. I always forget his nickname's Tuna. All right. So we can venture over into the Western Conference.
Ooh.
Into the Central there. Alex, take it away. For the love of God.
All right. So over to the Western Conference, we got Central Division, Coyotes, Blackhawks, Avalanche, Stars, Wild, Predators, Blues, and Jets.
Oh. So
Coyotes got this one.
Yeah.
They're stockpiled with picks. They're gonna win it with their picks.
Yeah. They're just gonna ice a number one lineup just first round pick. That's it. The lineup at the center circle, there's just no players.
Yeah.
Like I think it goes without saying Coyotes are gonna be, at the bottom there. I think you're gonna see a big step forward for Chicago.
Yeah, I think you should on paper, and for some reason, something tells me it's like yes, on paper they should, but for some reason I don't. My gut tells me that it's not going to be executed as well as they hope. Like I think they'll definitely still step forward, but I don't think they're going to be as dominant as they look on paper.
But you got to look at it too. Like DeBrincat is just getting better every year.
I think he's going to start plateauing. To be honest with you,
you never know.
No, I think we're seeing like what we got from DeBrincat now. I don't think we're going to see him keep elevating.
Okay, we always have Patty Kane. You always have Patty Kane.
Who's Jonathan Taves is going to be back.
Healthy Taves. I don't know. He's going to be interesting.
You have Kirby Doc, hopefully healthy again.
Yeah, healthy Doc. You have Fleury man in the
net.
The net. Back on D, they signed Murphy
and Seth Jones.
Yeah, Seth Jones.
So this team is going to be a matter of can the old guys still produce? And
that's it.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, is Kane and Taves still somewhat elite still, right? Because they are still getting paid that $20 million between the two of them. But yeah, DeBrincat, Tyler Johnson's probably going to have a top 6 or middle 6 role there.
Yeah, and that's Kubalik. Kubalik, right? I forgot about Kubalik, who's great for him. So he's their best young guy, in my opinion.
So this is the deepest team they've had in years.
It's deep. I just for some reason something tells me is it going to click? That's my question. Like on paper, it's there. It's just is it going to click on the ice?
It's funny you say that too, Mitch. Remember everyone said that with the the Devils when they made all these like free agent signings. It must have been a couple of years ago, like when they got like PK and got this, and everyone's like, "Oh man, they look really good," and then he finished like bottom 5.
They
So-
crashed and burned instantly that season
Yeah,
when it
so
started.
I totally get where you're coming from.
It's
like
just weird. Like I think like I'm a fan of a lot of those players. I really like Doc. I really like Jonathan Taves. I like Seth Jones. I'm a Seth Jones fan, even though I know I know we got overpaid. I'm stupid at that, but whatever. But I mean, they did shed Duncan Keith, and Seabrook's not playing with them, so they got younger on the defense instead of getting slower and older on the defense. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that would be
That is
huge
true.
there. It's just you gotta see like Jonathan Taves missed a full year, more than a year of hockey, and I mean, you can't count on Patrick Kane. I mean, Patrick Kane's Patrick Kane.
And,
But
they might make the playoffs just solely on the back of the reigning Vezina winner.
they might, or Fleury, or is it, or that's my other question too. Does it finally catch up with Fleury? I mean, Fleury did not want out of Vegas, and he feels blindsided. I mean, does Fleury have the motivation there now this year? I mean, he got his cups and he's got his wins. And now I don't know. It's like now he might be motivated to like prove Vegas wrong, and I hope he does.
Don't get his vaccine though,
He is not vaccinated.
or does he?
No,
I think
Fleury
he is.
has his.
Fleury has.
Oh, okay. I thought wasn't he the guy that was like complaining about something about pedophilia? They're gonna hunt him down or whatever. No, that was.
That's Theo Fleury.
Yes,
Theo
yes,
Fleury, yeah.
yes.
No,
That's right.
Theo Fleury.
Right, Marc-Andre Fleury. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know, man.
I don't know
He
what
also mentioned too with when he was talking with Elliot Friedman, he's like, you never know. It could be his last year. He's like, I don't know. He's like, maybe he's like, I'm getting up in age. What, 37? And he's been luckily not
If it's a mediocre year, I think he's done. Unless
I think so too.
Unless Pittsburgh throws something his way, he wants to do one more goodbye tour.
Yeah.
At the next year. But if he has a mediocre year, I think he's done.
Well, the Pens with their fucking goalie situation, you never know.
I can see that easily.
Oh man.
I think Pitt will back to Atlantic, like Pens. I have no faith in their goaltending at this point. Tristan Jarry, like if I'm a Pens fan, like Tristan Jarry,
they're in trouble.
Threw that faith away.
You're not that guy.
I guess who else there? I was going to mention the for me, I think the Stars are the ones to watch out for.
Yeah.
I lost faith in the Stars too, man. Every time I think, okay, the Stars have done something to do something, they literally get worse than they get better.
I don't know though. You got to look at it too. You're getting back as a healthy Sagan.
I don't. What's a healthy Sagan? When's the last time we saw a healthy Sagan?
I know.
Producing Sagan. Like
I know.
Honestly, I can't remember the last time Sagan's been a healthy producing.
But that whole team has been riddled with injuries. Sure, they're older. Sagan, Radulov, all these guys were injured, but you got I don't know if they somewhat can stay healthy, but they're always there. They're always hovering around.
That's the fucking thing. They can't. Radulov never stays healthy anymore. Radulov's too old and doesn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Sagan is to stay healthy. Jamie Benn is starting to deal with health issues. I mean, that's their top 3 forwards.
And they are older too.
They are older.
They're
now.
like the Bruins. They gotta be kind of like you're expecting some of these guys to take a decline. Like the ageless wonder Joe Pavelski. Like I'm surprised he still puts up the points he does. He's almost 38.
Yeah.
Like but like players like Gurianov or Rupe Hintz, like they're gonna be good
key
players
guys
for them.
They're their key guys too. It's just imagine if they can maintain it, because they're kind of guys that have stepped up. And it's like, are they roller coaster guys or are they like trajectory guys? You know what I mean?
And Fred, here's a good point too for that. Like under the radar signing for them, bringing in Ryan Suter for that cheap,
yeah. Right? Yeah,
because Ryan Suter being bought out wasn't like Zach Parise being bought out. Like they both got bought out together because they were attached at the hip or whatever. But like Zach Parise couldn't live up to the contract anymore. But I think Ryan Suter was pretty close to what he was providing on the ice. Like he's still really solid. Like he can play top 4 minutes defenseman.
Yeah.
Right. And he's getting paid what 3.5.
Yeah. And they got a stud in Heiskanen, right? Heiskanen's an absolute stud.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So it is, but I don't have much faith in them, and I hate what they did in their goaltending situation because it's like they don't know what the fuck they're at.
They got Holtby.
Ben Bishop, Holtby, and Hudobin under contract. I'm like
That'll change though, I think, eh?
I don't know. I don't know. You make it more confusing than you make it clear.
Mm-hmm.
In that, so you have a 1 and 2, and you need a 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And you can have a battling position, but then when you make it a 3-way thing, like who are you telling is not making the cut?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ben Bishop's going to get injured again anyway.
Well, that's what they're counting on.
I think he's still on IR right now.
I was going to say, is he even healthy?
Yeah,
That's
he's
the
still on
question.
IR right now.
I doubt he is. That's probably why I hope he was.
So
signed,
technically, it's
still.
1 and 2, and then you got like a 2B over in the corner somewhere.
I'd call
Crying.
Bishop,
Yeah, he's baby put in the corner.
I'd call Bishop a 3 at this point.
Yeah.
He's a 3. How about Alex's Bluesies?
So Blues.
I think they're going to take a step back in the right direction again this year. Like, I don't think they were as bad as kind of went last year for him.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. So like Buchnevich was a good signing for them.
Excellent pickup.
They lost Perron because of injury last year, which really hurt him just for the playoffs. But he was he was their best player last year.
Yeah,
I think Ryan O'Reilly is gonna Ryan O'Reilly had a good regular season, he had bad postseason.
Yeah. They filled out, looking at this now, Mitch, they filled out kind of the center of their lineup for the forwards.
They did.
Because they are bringing back Tyler Bozak, but he's going to be like a 4th line guy. But picking up Buchnevich and also signing Brendan Saad.
Yes, Saad
is an underrated pickup.
They lost Schwartz, which will hurt him a little bit,
That's
but
true.
Saad replaces that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they got, the big deal, James Neal.
Do they have Neal?
Yeah. Neal's probably have that random season again where he's just putting up mad points and then disappears.
He puts up like
again.
9 goals in the first 4 games or something.
Yeah, and then he disappears. That's what's gonna happen. Like, he goes to a new team, puts up these like crazy points. Oh, James Neal is the hottest thing in hockey, and then you never hear from him again.
Yeah, exactly.
I think though, like they probably did the best job signing their top defenseman in the offseason to an actual reasonable contract.
Oh, Parayko.
Yeah. Parayko at 6'5" is the only one that seemed to make sense.
Yeah.
Everyone else got
got overpaid.
9s and 10.
Cale Makar got a good contract.
Cale Makar's worth it.
Cale Makar got a good contract.
When it's the best defenseman in the league, like they set the bar, right?
Yeah.
So every contract's bad that's higher than Makar's when you're talking about
which was a lot of them.
Yeah.
Jones.
What was his number after?
8.2.
8 points. That's an excellent contract. For how many years?
6.
So I'm going to pull up the Avalanche there now because we might as well segue into the Avalanche while we're talking about Cale Makar.
Well, since you're looking up, just one quick thing on the Blues.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with Tarasenko? A guy that doesn't want to play on the team, and it's literally one of your.
I think he honestly, if he's feeling healthy, which I'm not 100% confident he's healthy.
Yeah.
I think if he plays well, he kind of has a change of heart.
Yeah.
If I could jump in for a second, there's video of him like ready to go, basically saying to media, "It's like, oh yeah, I'm here, I'm ready to play for this club," and like heart's 100% here. It's like, dude, you just requested a trade last season. I just found it kind of funny. Yeah,
I was drunk texting.
I was with Brett Hall.
Yeah.
So full of shit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think it's going to depend on the year. If it's a rough year for him, it's done. But I think if there's a bounce back year, a rejuvenation year, I say he has a change of heart.
Do you think like his injury is just getting the best of his emotions? He's just frustrated and he's just like,
There's a good chance.
I think not enough gets said about that with players. Like we're seeing it a lot now with Jack Eichel. I can see why those things really kind of wear down on a player, especially when they're like, I've been injured here for so long. Like just get me the hell out of here. Wanting a fresh start. But if he's healthy, man, he starts playing. If he's anything like he was, 2 years ago, I can see that just changing. Because I don't think like the Blues and Tarasenko, it's not like Jack Eichel and the Buffalo, like the Sabres bad. You know what I mean? It's not like irreparable.
No.
I think with him, it was just literally just wanted a fresh start. If I'm not wrong, I don't think it was anything about the office.
No.
He was getting paid. Like why? Like it had to be something big. Like I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. So like if I'm going, you're being a pain. Okay, sorry, my dog is being a menace. So if I go with the Avs here now, because I'm really kind of curious about this after last year, because I think there was a lot of similarities that could be drawn, Mitch, just in different conferences between how the season went for Colorado and how the season went for Toronto, and then how it ended for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's not. That wasn't as devastating as for sure.
It's well, maybe Colorado was maybe a year behind because they got to experience the Nazem Kadri suspension screwery, but
we still got through that. We still won our series.
The one. Well, not the next one.
No, yeah.
Just let me have this comparison.
No,
it's nothing close.
There's flaws in the comparison.
It's perfect.
Toronto's on a tear of their own, and no one's even there with them. You stand there in your box of shame.
You lost to the 18th place team.
Shut up! Your team was 18th place. Either way, what I'm trying to say is,
Colorado lost to the second best team in the league.
Yes, and Toronto lost the team that went to the Stanley Cup final and beat that second best team in the league.
Yes,
excellent. Yes. I love what we're saying here, guys. Just Fred's over here. His head's like, this is fine.
Fred, it looks like you're about to start floating away.
Yeah.
But what my point is I feel like maybe last year you looked at the lineups. Like I would have looked at Toronto's lineup last year and been like, this is the chance. Would you feel kind of similar? I know like Colorado have a bit more in the way of like good prospects stepping in, but you had players that left, right? Like the team has changed. I'm trying to think here now.
They lost. Saad went to re-sign with St. Louis, so that was a loss for them. And Seattle took Donskoy,
and then Graves.
That's not right. They traded him. That was a move to
the Devils as well.
Yeah, Graves is to shore up their defense and make some room for who they wanted there.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, Graves was starting to lose his shine, to say the least.
Shine.
But that's fine. You got Byram. You got guys.
Well, their defense got better now because it's McCarr, Devon Taves, and then Eric Johnson's finally back.
I didn't realize it. I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, holy fuck.
And it's Eric Johnson and Sam Girard, and then Matt Murray. We'll see how he does, and then Byram, who's looked really good this season. So the defense is fine. It's their depth scoring I'm worried about. So now this year they got to rely on the kids got to start hopping up. So like hopefully Newhook breaks the roster. I don't know if Sample Ranta is going to make the roster or not, but they've given him some looks. There's a kid, Shane Bowers. So there's some guys there. Nichushkin can't go regressing. He needs to kind of step his game back up.
He had a pretty good year last year.
He did. He's been a solid player. I'm just kind of waiting for the bubble to burst on him.
Because he's an analytics like darling. Yeah. If you follow any like advanced analytics, they take Nichushkin like he's like the second coming of Christ.
Yeah.
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 Seriously.
That's a weird fucking thing about analytics, man. Like you ask someone watching the game, they wouldn't say anything about him. They got analytics to say like he's like, yeah.
He just doesn't give anything up. He's quietly very effective.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess do you notice that he makes many mistakes?
Yes and no, not really. No, I mean he is defensively reliable.
Yeah.
He's a big body too, man. He just like the big thing with him too. He comes in like Rick Nash style, coming down the wing, big body, and then starts driving the net, and you're like, there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
He's just this tall frame, so
he's just gonna go through.
Interesting. It's gonna be interesting. There's a lot of variables this year for Colorado, so I'm fine with their defense. It's their depth. Their depth, I'm still concerned about, and I think they technically got better in net. It's just, can Kemper stay healthy? That's my concern there too.
I think they jumped on that trade for Kemper at the right time.
Well, their hand was forced.
Yeah,
their hand was forced, but they had to make sure they did it and got a good goalie. So I mean,
I'm happy with Kemper.
Yeah,
I'm happy with Kemper too. It's just he needs to stay healthy. That's my concern. My only concern.
Well, you guys got really good defense, so hopefully they keep.
That's the key. Like they're able to, like until Grubauer went to Colorado, I wouldn't say Grubauer was really, like a BL end all top goalie. I think a lot of credit needs to be given to the Colorado defense.
Mhm.
A lot does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they've been making all their goalies look pretty good.
Yeah. So like I like Grubauer. He was a good, nice, square, technical goalie, but I think he's gonna get exposed a bit more this year.
For sure.
I honestly, we'll talk about it when we get to Seattle. I'm not gonna go into a bit more than that, but I'll talk to him more when we get to the Pacific.
I think in this division, it's 100% Avalanche in the first place. I don't think there's any really going to be any challenge. I think the closest that comes to it is the Wild. I think the Wild will still have it.
I'm very Wild's another team too, and there's such this Central is such a weird one for me because there's so many teams where I think they can go one way or the other. I can see the Wild regressing again. I honestly can. I don't know why, but they could just maintain too. So we'll see there. And same thing with the Blues, and same thing with like the Jets.
The Preds. The Preds are a weird team.
And Preds are a weird team.
They're so defensive, yet they have
I can't
scoring.
I was gonna say that, Fred. I really can't see Nashville doing any damage.
But they do every year.
Yeah, but
this year they were pretty. They were a good
gotten
team.
Worse. They had to have gotten worse. Like they don't even have.
What was it? Arvidsson.
Arvidsson's gone.
Arvidsson was a big chunk thing they lost.
Like your top four. So for forwards, their top four are Duchesne, Johansson, Forsberg, and Granlund. After that, every player is like a bottom six guy. So I think they're in trouble. Like I don't think maybe Cody Glass turns into something.
Maybe.
But I don't see it. Everything's going to be on the back of their defense. And even then, I think their defense still took a step back because they traded away probably their second best defenseman.
Interesting.
Ryan Ellis.
That's true too. I keep forgetting that. Yeah. So you just got Yossi now pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So Dante, well, they got Yossi and they got, what's his name?
Yossi Ekholm.
Ekholm is solid.
Fabro and
Dante Fabro is
good.
He's a prospect. He's getting better. He's kind of a Ryan Ellis style too.
Yeah.
And Saros, obviously, on the back end he's always solid.
So Saros has been solid for him. So we'll see. But
so where do you think they're gonna be? What, mid-pack?
No, I do think they drop off.
I think they're at the bottom of the division.
So we all agree that Avs is gonna be 1.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are gonna be 2.
Ooh, interesting.
Really? I think that's interesting.
I think it's gonna be a cluster, man.
I think so.
Jets, Blues, Wilds, even the Stars, if they want to play, like we were saying earlier, be healthy and play like they can.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay, so far we've been pretty like, this is what we think the Atlantic is, and this is what we think the Metro is. But I think now the Central, I think we're all gonna have like sort of different ones because
we're all on different pages.
Avs are gonna be 1, Jets are gonna be 2, and I think the Stars are gonna be 3.
Okay.
I really do. I don't know why.
What's your 3, Mitch?
Hey, wait. We'll do a little crossover segment.
Prediction pints.
Excellent.
Get your crisp prediction pints.
Okay. So first, Fred. So you said so Avs.
Yeah.
Jets.
C.
And then you said Stars.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. If they, I think it's just because they stay healthy. I think they're always good. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so then what are your 3 there, Mitch? Because I think everyone's going to be different here.
I think mine's Avs, Blues, Jets.
Blues and Jets. Interesting. So I'm going Avs, Minnesota. Jeez, I don't even know who I can take for the third team. I don't think the Jets are going to be able to do it. So I'm gonna go. Colorado, Minnesota, and the Blues.
I really think Minnesota's going to be this fantastic team, eh, boys?
They were excellent
No,
last year.
I said I don't. I didn't say that.
Sorry, I thought you were had that on the.
I'm the only one.
I was like, okay, they got Kaprizov. I'm like, they were pretty good. I'm just like, okay, Eriksson Ek.
I'm just like, Kaprizov got his money now. He don't have to do anything.
He don't have to do anything. He's gonna have a shit year. He's gonna be garbage. Like, I got paid.
Yeah,
that's it.
Maybe. I think that's a good point, though. I think that how well they do is going to be on the back of Kaprizov. But man, like they took Colorado in that first round series last year, like they were really good. And I don't think they've really changed too much. Like without Suter is the
They
one
didn't,
change.
they didn't play Colorado in the first round series last
Was it-
year.
Oh, was it Vegas?
Yeah. Yes, it was Vegas.
Vegas, because that was I just remember it going the distance, I believe.
So that's why you're picking them to be so high. Why didn't you say Montreal's going to be top 3 this year?
I did say
No, you didn't.
I was the only one. I said it was going to be between Montreal and Boston.
Okay, so what were our top 3 in the Atlantic again?
I don't know.
I said Tampa Leafs and Boston.
I was
said-
the only one that had your back.
I said I
Amazing.
had the 2 Florida teams and Leafs.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
And I had Tampa, Toronto, and then I said it was going to be really close.
But you got to
between
pick
Boston
one
and
though.
Montreal.
This is where the prediction
Montreal.
points are. Really?
Montreal. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
I did not expect that.
Oh, thank you.
France.
Oh man, it's gonna be so hard. I feel like it's been forever since we saw normal regular season hockey and other teams
Mhm.
play other teams inside their division. It's gonna be so weird. It's like I think we're gonna see sides of teams we completely forgot about. It's either like, oh yeah, they're better, or it's like, oh yeah, you're shittier than
That
I
team
remember.
is shit.
I think, yeah, like I think this is going to be too, like in the regular season, you're going to see even more of the effects of teams with more elite offense
Yeah.
being the good teams, like being the teams that are going to pull ahead. Because like last year we saw, like, because it was in the divisional stuff, like it was like, the teams got to prepare more for the other teams, right?
Yeah.
You
You're
had
right.
like, you're playing 7 other teams strictly. Like, man, how many times did like Montreal had Edmonton's number, did they not?
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
playoff series. They were able
And
to prepare
Canucks.
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then they lost every game to Toronto. They won 1 out of 10, I think.
Yeah, but that means nothing.
Yeah.
That means nothing. What was it? The guys on what was it? I'm trying to remember now. But like they were talking about like the record since like for all of 2021. Like just this year, it was like
Mhm.
Toronto and Montreal's record. It was like it was like what? Like 12-7-1 or something, or 12-6-1. And I just like started crying. Like, are you kidding me? And they still, like, that was their record and they lost the playoff series.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that said, let's jump over to the Pacific.
Ooh.
The Pacific.
The
We got the
specific
Ducks,
Pacific.
the Flames, the Oilers, the Kings, the Sharks, the Kraken, the Canucks, and the Golden Knights.
Whew. This is going to be an interesting division as well.
Oh, Knights got this one unlocked.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's a lock.
I think Kraken. I just don't think Kraken made enough moves. They didn't do a Vegas. I think they're literally content with just slowly building for the future.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna be last.
I'm all in on the Sharks.
Oh my God. I just
kidding.
threw up in my mouth.
I just had to.
Do we see any teams taking a step forward? I think I see one.
Yeah.
LA.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
the one that I'm thinking. is gonna-
Vancouver potentially, but right now their situation says otherwise.
I think they might actually be worse.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, this team, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't think Benning knows what he's at, to be honest.
I don't think.
Well, you go into camp with like 2 of your best players not fucking signed.
Yeah. I'm just going to trade for Ekman Larson. I'll sign, Quinn Hughes at another date. Like, what? No,
Yeah.
you lock up your best D-man right now. Like, what's your problem, dude? Oh my God.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Quinn Hughes is up there with like maybe top, I don't know.
I
You can easily say top, 5 to 10 defensemen in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I see what one thing though. Quinn Hughes, like I like Quinn Hughes, but the freaking problem is he's not as defensively good
Mhm.
as you think. His offense covers up for a lot of it.
Yeah.
He does get caught a lot.
But you gotta have defensive lines on, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta have that guy to complement him, So he puts up points. That's his job. Like, sure, you gotta defend.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
do a half-ass job and can put up, 3 points and help your
I agree, Fred.
whatever.
I believe it's a lot harder to find that kind of defenseman, like a good, like offensively, like
there's not a lot of Victor Hedmans in the NHL.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. Who's good at both.
yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I for this division, like I think like all these teams are taking a step back. I'm not sold on the Calgary Flames, man. The Canadians, but maybe I think Edmonton is gonna do a bit better.
I think they will too. It's just
Mhm.
it's still they still haven't addressed their goaltending, and I still think their defense is not where it needs to be.
I don't think they're good enough at all to do any damage in the playoffs.
No.
There's too many holes. Like they're gonna be a regular season team.
Yeah.
Just off the back of Connor McDavid. I think the line is going to be so good. Like Connor McDavid playing with, it's going to make me so sad watching it. But playing with Zach Hyman is going to be so good.
Yeah, he's going to be great. I think he's going to be really good this year.
Like, did you see the preseason goal?
Mm-hmm.
Like Zach Hyman just little tap in.
Yeah,
well, that's all they're going to be. It's McDavid just doing little drop passes to him, little quick little through the leg shit. Driving it in, and then Hyman just going to the net for the tap ins.
You know what though? It's pretty nice for Edmonton now. Finally, say we have two lines that can probably produce, not just like our second line is shit. Just throw Draisaitl with McDavid now. No, you actually have McDavid with what I believe the line is Hyman and Puljujarvi. And you have Draisaitl with the Nuge and who am I missing? The Nuge and Yamamoto. So that's a pretty solid two lines, I would think.
Yeah, I think it is. I think they're going to be better. Like they're definitely going to be a better team, but their biggest question marks are just not in their forward lineup.
What, Duncan Keith? What about Duncan Keith on the back end? He's like 2009 Duncan Keith coming in 2021.
That's exactly it. Duncan Keith can't even skate backwards and pivot anymore. No, like Duncan Keith he can't play the same.
His hair must be down to his like ankles now because he just let that.
He trips up in
it. Is these days.
He trips up in it.
He trips up in it.
Yeah, like this, like that's really scary. When half of your top four are former Toronto Maple Leafs when Toronto's defense was shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty bad, man. Nurse, Keith, Barry, CC, Chris Russell, and Slater Cuckoo. Like that's rough.
Yeah. I don't know. They have to address that.
Yeah, Darnell Nurse is going to play like 40 minutes tonight.
He is. I think you should just play him the whole game like he did in the playoffs. He played 19 minutes of the first OT. I think that's what you should just do. Just like get back out there, wait for the whistle to blow, get back out there.
He's like crying. He's like, Coach, please take me off. He's like, no.
He's like, no.
You stay out there.
That guy, I don't know. I think he'll probably win the Norris this year. We'll see.
We will see. Wait, who'd you say is winning the Norris?
Darnell Nurse.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, he has potential there.
I just mean if Edmonton has a really good season and he has the offensive season like he did, he had like all around good stats last year.
Yeah, if he's playing on a power play too with like on that same power play.
The one downfall for him is he's a bit over aggressive and I find he takes stupid penalties.
For sure.
He's a bit of a hothead, and I find he takes some dumb penalties.
Mm-hmm. We will see.
Stop taking those poopy penalties.
My hot take, though, I have a hot take. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah? No, go
I have
for
a
it,
hot take. Hot take. I think who's going to make a little bit of a comeback this year is the Flames. Hot take.
He is. That is really hot. That's a hot take.
I know that Goudreau and Monahan and them, like they never showed up this year or last year. And I totally get it, but with the whole COVID thing, you never know. Like some teams just, they just never clicked.
But they were kind of doing the same thing the year before too.
I don't know. I still think like Bennett was a little bit of he had to go. So I don't know, man. I think they might rebound this year.
Coleman will drag him into the fight.
Well, I know that I think they said that Coleman's on the first line right now, or he's playing him in the first line. Like that guy's a fourth liner, third liner, fourth liner. Like, but I don't know. We will see.
We shall see. So like that. What's your place predictions then? What are you thinking for the Pacific?
It's probably Vegas, Edmonton. I'm gonna say Vegas, Edmonton, Vancouver.
Asterisks, Pedersen and Hughes.
Yeah.
If
they're sitting the whole season, then I'll put Vegas down with fucking Seattle. Or Vancouver down with fucking Seattle.
Yeah. What about you, Fred?
I think the Knights and Oilers are locked. I think
Okay.
the Knights obviously going to sneak in one somehow. The Oilers will be 2. 3, I will agree. If Hughes and Pedersen are signed, and then 4, I still think the Flames.
Interesting.
Honestly, part of me wants to say the Kings have
That's mine. That's my third.
big jump year. I don't think they actually have such youth, but I mean they still got Doughty. Doughty had a good year last year, good bounce back year last year, and a lot of people don't realize it. Man, he had a good year last year. Dustin Brown is starting to pick his game back up. Kopitar is still Kopitar.
He always does, hey? Dustin Brown falls off the face of the earth and then comes back.
It's
Yeah.
funny
All the
that
time.
it's amazing, eh? We keep talking about these guys who are regressing like the Crosbys. These are the same era players, and yet we're saying they're on the uptick again.
But
Isn't
it's
it
weird.
amazing?
But the weird thing is about those, like Crosby can't stay healthy anymore. Like Crosby's still consistent though. Same with Ovechkin, but Doughty had dropped off. Same with Dustin Brown have dropped off, but then they spiked again.
Yeah. Like
So-
Dustin Brown for me was I used him all the time in fantasy.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was a huge fantasy
he
player.
was great,
He
man.
put up goals, penalty minutes, hits,
Power
everything.
play points,
Power
man.
play points.
Just stand in front of the net, man.
Yeah.
Tap it in.
He was their captain, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So not including their rookies that can make a jump this year, they did add Victor Arvidsson and Philip Deneau.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already better. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I forgot about that. With just Deneau alone, if you're going to be like 18th, your team's now just bumped up to like,
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
moved up.
like they're a matchup team now. Like they got,
Yeah.
you have Anze Kopitar and Deneau, who are both really solid defensive players.
Hey, maybe Byfield will kick it into a new gear this year.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. Like he's still young, but you never know.
I also didn't realize they signed Alex Edler.
Mm,
I don't think too much of him.
for me, it's just
Drew Doughty, Oli Mata, Matt Roy, Alex Edler, Sean Walker. They're decent, and I think you're going to see the kind of transition this year between them switching over from Jonathan Quick
yeah.
to Cal Peterson.
That was a good signing, and that was a good sign. Yeah, that was definitely a good signing for Peterson.
Oh, yeah, Cal Peterson for sure. Mitch,
Yeah,
you got a pizza?
No pizza?
Wow!
Because we were talking about Philip Deneau, eh?
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Yes.
Nailed it. Yeah. So that's my pick for third though. I'm going it's Vegas for me. Vegas, Edmonton, and LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's it. So we have them. That is our division predictions. It took us an hour.
Nice.
A little bit painful, but we got there.
We got there. We got there. So just to quickly kind of before we move on to say the body count. Alex, you have that queued up, eh? That sound for it. We'll throw it in there. But just before we head to that, we'll kind of all just give our best, our pick on the best offseason signing. If everyone's got one.
I'm not gonna lie, I can barely remember the off season.
Yeah. There's been so many.
Yeah. For me, I'm still gonna go with the best signing for me was Kaprizov. Yeah, it was a little bit pricey, but I feel like for a team now that just bought out Parise, you just bought out Suter, like you're pretty much saying to yourself, we have a good team, yet we're totally just starting from the bottom, and you signed the best possible player, the Calder Trophy winner. It's a safe. I think that was probably the smartest team signing, if that makes any sense.
No, I agree, because with that, you kind of hit the nail on the head, like team signing, because I think without them signing Kaprizov, I don't say that Minnesota is in the top three.
Well,
like
without Kaprizov, they're back to being the boring old Minnesota Wild.
Yeah,
exactly.
He brings character. He brings fun. Like when that guy scores a goal, he's excited. He does the old Ovechkin, like just pumped. It's good.
You guys want me to read off a few signings?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Tuukka Rask, Blake Coleman, Philip Grubauer, Dougie Hamilton, Zach Hyman, Philip Deneau, Tyson Barrie, Peter Mrazek, David Savard, and Alec Martinez.
All really good players. I'm going to throw out too Philip Deneau. Okay, Philip Deneau was overpaid. Guys, we can all agree. I love the guy. He is overpaid. But I think if you bring him to a young team like LA right now, they're growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the guys like Kopitar, you have Doughty, but you bring in this guy who's just a hard worker. He just like he brings the good out of, say, like Caulfield came in for Montreal, like these guys, Evans. Like I think Evans is a better player now than he was last year
because of Deneau.
Because he, you know, like I don't know, maybe he was a sneaky good signing for.
I think so. I think that's a really good one.
Minus the money. That's just all I'll say. Minus the money.
It's well, especially after how the playoffs went with Deneau.
So
like he was. Go ahead, Mitch.
I was going to say, I think it's a good sign for LA, but he would have been better off in another market.
What would be the ideal team
why do you say?
for
So to me, I think he risks being a third line player playing in LA.
Apparently he's going to be second line center.
Yeah, I know for now, but if Quentin Byfield starts fucking ramping up, he's sitting back pretty quick.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think he will yet. I don't think Byfield's ready, but that's just my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he is going to be on that second line center role.
Well,
I think he gets
they're doing a shutdown line for sure. That's the idea. So that's a matchup line.
Yeah.
It's going to be the second line that plays against the top line of the whoever's and frees up their first line.
They're going to be a great matchup team because like Kopitar is not a slouch either defensively.
Yeah, they're
the
going to be
former Selke candidate. Like
man, you're really pushing or making me change my decision on LA or the Flames now. I'm like, man, maybe
come to the dark side. Come on.
My problem with my problem with Flames are fun. I think Goudreau, Monahan, I find them so boring.
Yeah, I agree.
as hockey as people.
I just find the whole Flames team boring, to be honest.
Yeah, I really do. How about you, Mitch? What's your signing there? Give me a good one.
I don't know, man.
Put you on the spot.
I'll give Montreal. I find David Savard from Montreal was big, where they were losing Weber.
Oh yeah, that's a
really good.
I should have thought about that one as a Habs fan.
Take that fucking jersey off, Fred.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah, so I think that's a big one. David Savard is a very severely underrated defenseman in my opinion, even after playing with Tampa last year. And I think that was a very necessary big signing for them, where they lost. They knew they were losing Weber the whole season. That helps ease the blow a little bit. It won't entirely, but they're not near as screwed as they would be if they didn't sign him.
Yeah, and I just thought about too, Mitch. That line or that pairing is going to be Sherratt and Savard. That's
right.
That's terrifying.
That's a big boy line. Big boy line.
Yeah, shut down line.
Terrifying. Injuries. So many injuries to other players.
Just hurting people.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go with one of the. Yeah. Oh. Speaking of hurting people, I'm just going to do a quick pick. Speaking of, I'll get to that. I'm gonna go a bargain bin one first that I actually am pretty excited about. I'm gonna definitely go with a Leaf signing here, and just based on how it started in the preseason so far. But I really like them picking up bargain bin shopping for Andre Kasha. He's looked awesome, man. He's looked really good, and for someone who's making like $1 million a year.
Until game 4 and he's injured.
Yeah, that's right. So that's why that's why he's fallen on the radar. So like. He's a consistent player, point getter, but he never stays healthy. That's why he falls on the radar.
Yeah.
Apparently his points per game is like super high.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like 0.9. I'm like, what?
That's literally how effective he is and how hurt he is.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
He played something like I don't know if it was like 60 games over the past 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like he hasn't been able to stay healthy, but as of right now, they're saying he's feeling great. He's healthy. So
has it been the same injury, or is it just he has the shit luck? He's just one of those guys. Oh, shit.
Oh, the bad one, right?
All right.
So he's had a couple of concussions. So, but that's my bargain bin one. I just want to throw that out there. But I actually, I'm gonna go with the classic. If you got the best free agent available, it's probably the best signing. And I actually think it's a pretty solid one. Dougie Hamilton. I think he is worth it. The guy is. He doesn't get a lot of favoritism when it comes to like, like the tough hockey, demographic. But he's like, especially, I don't know, he's just, as a top, top pairing defenseman, he's so effective. He's excellent. And it's surprising him going to New Jersey, but I don't know. I think he's the best pickup.
So
I think he's still gonna have
I have a
good year.
question for you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you now that you mentioned this. Okay. Is he going to have the season that he had with the Canes the last couple of years?
I think he'll still have a really strong season. I think he's still gonna at least put up 40.
I
40 to
think
50
you
points.
see him playing more defensive than offensive this year.
Yeah. But he's still gonna get a lot of power play. Like he's the go-to power play guy. Yeah. I think he's gonna be excellent on a power play with a team where I think Jack Hughes is gonna take a step forward and their other players are actually gonna take a step forward. A power play with Thomas Tatar and stuff too. Like I think they're gonna have an improved power play. But this isn't the first time that I've up talked New Jersey after a bunch of moves. Like I did that year when they got Subban, and it's crashed and burned. My other one would probably be Zach Hyman. It's excellent right now. Terrible in about 5 years, but it's gonna be an excellent one.
Yeah.
So,
Not at 7 million though, or whatever it was.
No. Well, Zach Hyman's gonna be great for Edmonton. The problem is it just still doesn't fucking help their reason they
Shitty ass fucking defense.
yeah, exactly.
Everyone was like, well, Edmonton's got to be making a defense sign for a goalie this year. Nope. We have faith in Mike Smith still. Sure you do.
And Costin. Yes, they still got it.
Oh my God, Koskinen, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so with that said,
just give me Dion Phaneuf with a pylon in front of the net. I bet you it'd be better in Costin.
he probably blocked more shots.
That's what he gets for being a goalie and wearing fucking number 19.
Yeah, that's what you get. Funny.
Garbage.
That was great.
You guys did you watch Fred, you caught the highlights to the Toronto Montreal preseason game 1 last Saturday?
I did.
You did? There was a nice big hit in a fight.
Oh no. Who's frozen?
Bodyguard.
Shit. I think I'm freezing.
No
We
way.
can see ya.
I can still
Never
see
mind,
you.
I'm good.
Yeah. You got the audio for it there, Alex?
What I do have is the video portion of the over the boards hit is now it's up on the video pod there now. So
Okay, perfect.
it was a hit by Romanov.
And he literally pretzeled him.
Yeah, the tweet that I have up on the video pod there now is it's from Spit and Chicklets, and Romanov just got tossed, and they have like they just had like the pretzel emoji there on another tweet that I saw. But I think that was the one with just the picture, but this one is actually showing the video there.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to throw that one out there because that night Curtis Gabriel was, I guess, trying to make you're probably more familiar with him there, Mitch, because of the West Coast. Curtis Gabriel as a player.
He didn't play a whole lot. He's kind of more of just of a goon than anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if you've seen what I know him most for is I don't know if he still is, was going out with that goalie turned model, Instagram model chick.
I think he is.
She used to play university hockey.
Yeah.
And now she's a model.
Yeah.
So there's like I've seen her around because like she'll do stuff modeling. She's have to do modeling stuff and her in her hockey gear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I know him more. He's kind of an odd player too, like for
he's very social media.
Yeah, fourth line grinder guy, but he has like his own logo and all this stuff and everything. It's very interesting.
He's pretty funny, but in that game he was running around like a wrecking ball trying to make a statement. So I think he had I don't know who the player's name was. He had another hit on started with a B. I'm not sure. These preseason games, there's always like, rookies and like AHL level guys, but they had a fight afterwards too. And it was pretty funny because it was like going to come off for a change. So you can tell he's like going super slow, but didn't want to pass up the opportunity for a hit. So he laid the hit in and then the guy fought him. And it was like, he was barely able to stand on his skates.
Is he signed? Is he signed or is he PTO?
He signed.
Okay.
He signed. So with that concludes all of our primary points there, Alex. Maybe we can roll into the pick and roll. I don't know if we have a pick and roll. I don't know if we want to do that for
I mean, we can use the stinger this
Use the
one time
stinger
for the
for it?
debut. Yeah.
Why not?
Hey, bro! Hey!
I like the pick and roll. I like the give and go.
Answer the question.
Freak out, yo!
So there was a bunch of different big stories within the NHL, even over the offseason. Maybe we can touch on a couple of them, or if you guys want to kind of touch on some of the biggest stories of the offseason. It's funny now, like I had a bunch of them thinking, like I was thinking of a bunch of them going into it, but now I'm drawing a blank for a minute.
No, thank you. I'm good. Thank
No.
you.
No, you don't want to?
No, thanks.
Why?
And that concludes the pick and roll.
I'm not done. Yeah.
Well, while we're on we can save it now, but I think we should talk about. No, we'll save it for the Jersey Talk content because I think we'll still see more information come about it. I was going to talk about the Ukraine, the
UHL.
Yeah, but I think we'll save that for our Jersey Talk because it's very broad sports kind of.
More broad
Mhm.
sports.
This is more of a pre NHL season kind of podcast, so we'll save that for next week's Jersey Talk.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the
Well,
only
then-
stuff that I personally had in the notes, you guys pretty much covered when you were talking about the teams in depth, anyways.
Yeah.
So like, I had like Rangers, Flyers, rework, and all that. You guys covered most of it, anyway. So
Oh yeah. My other thing I was going to say for this, I guess one of the stories would be the Amazon Prime series coming out there tomorrow. So that'll be kind of interesting.
You just want to relive your pain. Is that what it is?
I'm actually like terrified to watch it.
All I've seen is like the shots of like Marner Matthews just sitting there. Like Matthews is just like dead and dejected, and Marner got like the towel over his head.
Did you see? Did you see the video, like the portion with Jack Campbell?
No.
They showed him after the game 7,
No, I didn't.
and he was literally having a breakdown.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, man, that's heartbreaking. And apparently
Wow,
they're like,
that's
it's really in depth with the game 1, like the Tavares injury and stuff like that. So you know me, like I'm gonna watch it because what do you call it, masochistic or whatever, and just my own pain.
Just a sucker for punishment, man.
A sucker for punishment, but yeah, like it's gonna be really hard to watch when you get to the last 2 episodes of it.
Not for me.
You're gonna skip right to them now.
I'm just gonna watch those last 2 episodes.
It's gonna be like The Simpsons, or it's like, look, you can pause and see the exact moment his heart tore in two.
This is Ralph. I choose you.
All right, then on to restricted free agents remaining unsigned during training camp. We got Brady Tkachuk, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes. I know we talked about the Vancouver guys a little bit.
Still, I don't. What the fuck are they doing?
Like, why isn't Tkachuk signed?
Well, I understand. It's funny.
Money.
It's funny. They signed a kid to an 3-year entry level this today,
Yeah.
and his name ended Chuck. I was just, everybody's like, wrong Chuck there, bud.
Wrong Chucky there.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Pierre.
Figure it
Like,
out.
do you think
Chuck
that's
there,
gonna
Pierre.
affect this? Do you think, like, okay, these 3 guys are not in training camp right now. It's messing with the line, gelling your lines.
Absolutely.
So, like, they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, I heard a few people are like read up on it, but like, it's not a huge deal. I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, you want to be around them as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like,
Be honest, I hope they all fucking hold out. I hope they all hold out.
yeah.
Feel the
not
same pain that I felt.
not my fantasy. I want
you want Tkachuk
Tkachuk because he's my keeper and he's going to get
No.
all my points this year.
So I think, okay, so there's 2 reasons. Both are slightly different in both, but why this is taking so long and why it's stalled. You got a terrible owner in Ottawa.
A douchebag.
Who's hurting the team, even though he thinks he's helping the team.
Right.
And I don't think Ottawa will ever be a fully successful team until he's no longer the owner.
Absolutely correct.
And then over in Vancouver, you have a fucking idiot of a GM in Benning
Yes.
who doesn't know what the hell he's at. And I think he's pretty much stalled out and probably himself back into a fucking corner.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. It's a mess.
All I hear, that's a sad thing for Canadians.
It's not so bad for Ottawa. That that shit happens. It's from time to time. But
Mhm.
Vancouver, when you have 2 of your top stars still not signed, and preseason has started.
And they're going to be probably the highest paid players.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would imagine, like, I would be very surprised if any one of them gets a lower number than an 8.
Well, he's going to have to go bridge deals just to.
Yeah. On long term, it would have to start with an 8, I think.
Oh, for Hughes, for sure.
For all of them.
Then, oh my God. I honestly, I don't know. I can't do math. I
wonder if they were making if they had any traction with Quinn Hughes, and then all those defensemen started getting signed for what they signed for. He's like, fuck. And they lost all his fucking, his leverage.
Well, that's his fault. That's exactly it. It's his own stupid fault. He knew he was in a pinch to the cap.
Yeah.
So you should know better as a GM. It's like, man, I should get this done quick because Carr is going to get paid in it. Like, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, like I think they're all going to get those big deals. If not, it's going to be a bridge. Like, and on the front of Kachuk, like, I think it's well documented that his father and even like they're well they pride themselves on being hard negotiators.
Yeah.
So he has no problem.
What's I can't remember with Kachuk. Is it he wants a bridge or he wants long term?
So what I've heard, because I listened to like TSN, the Ottawa radio, and the guys were saying that apparently he wants the signing bonus, I believe. I think it's like signing bonus money, but they wanted to make sure it's on the back end because of escrow.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. But hey, I don't know. That's what I think I remember.
Yeah. They're all just hanging out in Michigan together.
Do you know what I think should happen? I think, sends, they sign Kachuk and then offer sheet too with all the money they had. They're under the cap right now. They have to
they're below the floor. Yeah.
And without Kachuk right now, they're not even cap eligible to play this year. So I think they should sign Kachuk and then offer sheet like Pedersen. Just for shits and giggles.
Does Dorian let them spend to the cap, or does he limit them?
No, I don't think. I think Dorian's like, do whatever you want. I think
that's what I thought. That's the weird part, but I guess they're a rebuilding team, so you gotta have kids who don't have those contracts yet or right claims to that contract.
Yeah, like
and they're on the right track right now.
They're
on the right track.
They've already declared that the rebuild's done.
Yeah, without Kachuk, how can you say that? He's not signed. No, you're not done.
You can't declare a rebuild is done unless you fucking succeed as a team. Yeah, we're done. We still suck, but we're done.
The minute that they
he's just
done.
Yeah.
Did it. We did it. The minute that they hired Pierre Maguire, I think they took a step back and they started regressing back the other way.
And if you start seeing players fucking leave left, right, and center, you know what happened.
It's gonna be because of him.
I was tired of waking up with Pierre Maguire leaning over my bed while I slept.
Oh my God, so creepy. All right.
I think we nailed everything.
I think that concludes all of our topics for this evening. So where did that run us there, Alex? Producer Alex? Are we at what, an hour and a half?
Let's see. That pretty much ran us an hour and a half there, boys.
Nice.
126.
Excellent.
Go hockey.
Thank you all for listening to the Over the Boards edition of the Jersey Tuck podcast. Signing off there. I don't know if you guys want to say any last words.
Go Habs, go.
Go Habs, go. And follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter.
YouTube.
There you go. All the things. Find all of those things and follow us on them.
OnlyFans.
Nailed it, Josh. Nailed
it. I'm doing some shows later. Check us out.
Yeah, check it out.
Wanna see my... No, I'm not even gonna go there.
See ya.
Yeah.